The Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, Tony Ojukwu, says the payment of compensation to the victims of police violations is one step to the road of justice. Ojukwu said this in Abuja at the final presentation of report of the Independent Investigative Panel on Human Rights Violations against the defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad and other units of the Nigeria Police Force.
Out of which the National Human Rights Commission has awarded compensation to 100 victims to ensure that justice is served to the petitioners. Today, we are finally closing a chapter in the work of the panel, but also opening a new one for the Commission and all government institutions that will be charged with the implementation of this report. These include the Office of the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Ministry of Justice, the Police Service Commission, and the Nigerian Police Force. My Lord, ladies and gentlemen, payment of compensation is just one step in the road to justice. There is still the need to hold indicted officers of the Nigerian police accountable for these violations. In this regard, I welcome the decisions and indictments issued by the Justice Galadima panel, and I want to assure Nigerians and the victims and their families that the National Human Rights Commission will do everything possible to ensure that decisions are implemented. The Commission is also pleased that the panel has made far-reaching recommendations on other spheres of justice delivery and human rights enforcement, including the payments of judgment debts, police relationships with legal representatives of victims, and institutional reforms in medical institutions for compliance with the release of the compulsory treatment of gunshot wounds and release of corpses, amongst other reforms.
Speaking earlier, Chairman of the 11-man panel, retired Justice Suleiman Galadima, thanked everyone who in one way or the other helped in making their work a success.
Here we are today at this epoch-making event to submit the final report after almost 2 years of hard work and commitments by the panel. It is our fervent prayer that the federal government, as a matter of urgency, look into this report and our recommendation with a view to implementing them. It is suggested that the Victim Compensation Fund be set aside to settle the awards of these compensations. We further urge the National Economic Council, which directed the establishment of the various panels on human rights violation, to further direct the National Human Rights Commission to harmonize these various reports of the panel and urgently submit them to the federal government for quick action. We cannot forget to appreciate the police and civil defense team who are always with us and ensure our safety and security.
Given the reports on the fact sheet, the secretary to the panel, Mr. Hilary Ogbonna, said according to geopolitical zones, North Central had 60% of the petitions received. He added that South-South, followed by 15.5%, Southeast 11%, Southwest 9%, Northwest 2.9%.
Now, in terms of those that were full decisions from zero till end by the panel, they are 95 fully decided petitions by the panel. That is volume 2 of what has been presented today. Then we have cases that were withdrawn. Withdrawal here, you can see the number is high, 54. Why would somebody withdraw a petition? So many reasons. At the initial stage, a lot of the petitioners claimed that the police was after them. Those who submitted the reports were being intimidated and harassed by the police. We couldn't verify that, but the panel still made a statement urging the police to stop that, but people still withdrew on that ground. There are also those that withdrew their petition because they want to take it to the states. So that was quickly granted to them. We even wait further to write those panels to accept those petitions, including those that were out of time. Those petitions that were struck out, 33 of them, we tried to be a panel of justice and not a panel of technicalities. And my Lord was very keen on that. But there are some petitions that are incurable, cannot help them. One is there are petitions that are out of our jurisdiction. We are strictly for police, SARS and other units of the Nigerian police force, not of Nigerian security agencies. So if you bring a petition on the Nigerian military, or a petition that is out of our scope, if a company violated your rights, and without police involvement in it, we can't hear it, unfortunately. But of course, because it's Human Rights Commission, some of them were given the option of taking their petition to the Human Rights Commission. Some accepted that, while others didn't. Then there were those that were struck out for lack of diligent prosecution. Then 57 cases were referred to the Human Rights Commission. And I think this is the privilege of the panel. The panel had privilege of cases that we couldn't hear for any reason at all, but they are on the prima facie evidence in the petition. There were causes that needed to be straightened out. There were cases that needed to be answered. What the panel did was to refer such cases to the commission. So no case was killed. They were rather referred to the commission for the commission to continue its work on them, since the commission is a permanent independent entity. Last but not the least, judgment death. This was one of the biggest challenges we faced as a national panel. We had 56 judgment death, and by judgment death cases, we are talking about judgments of competent courts of Nigeria, given against the Nigerian police for human rights violation, involving various sums of money and dating back to 10, 15 years ago, that have not been enforced, that have not been paid by the police. So these victims packaged them as petition and sent them to the panel. And the panel, of course, received them because it is within our mandate. But what did we do? We have to verify that the judgments are really true and that the judgments were actually given by their lordships. Verification of these judgments took us a lot of time because we were to go to verify 56 cases, 56 judgments in 24 states. So this took us time, but the good thing is that the commission has state presence. So we worked with the state offices of the commission and we verified all of them except for about 4. And you will see that in the report. The panel has found 72 officers with different degrees of liability in human rights violations. 28 of them have been recommended for prosecution. 25 of them have been recommended for dismissal. 15 of them have been recommended for various degrees of disciplinary actions. And then 4 were recommended for reduction of ranks. As both the Executive Secretary and my Lord Chairman say, the time now has come for other institutions of government to do their own work.